Formula One, the pinnacle of motorsport, the fastest cars, the sharpest minds, the bravest drivers. But behind the spectacle stands the FIA, the organization that's meant to ensure fairness. For decades now, FIA decisions have influenced and changed entire championships. But sometimes those decisions spark a lot of controversy. And sometimes they shake the very foundation of the sport. From title deciding blunders to rule inconsistencies, today we are breaking down how the FIA keeps shaping Formula One, for better or for worse. This is Chicane Chat, and if you love detailed analysis about the sport that we both love, go ahead and subscribe. Let's dive into Abu Dhabi 2021, the race that completely redefined controversy in Formula One. Hamilton and Verstappen tied on points, facing off for the whole championship. Hamilton dominated the race, but just a few laps to go, Nicholas Latifi crashed. The safety car came out, and so did the FIA's biggest mistake. The FIA's race director at the time, Michael Massey, completely ignored protocol. Instead of allowing all lap cars to unlap, he only let some go through, basically setting up a one-lap shootout between Verstappen and Hamilton. With fresher tires, Verstappen ended up passing Hamilton and claiming the title. Even worse, the FIA admitted the quote-unquote human error, but upheld the result. For many, especially those Hamilton and Mercedes fans, this wasn't just a mistake, it was a breach of trust. The backlash was insane. If you were already a fan back then, you remember this. Fans, drivers, teams, everybody was weighing in on this. Mercedes filed an appeal, and the FIA promised reforms. Massey was removed, but the sport's credibility had already taken a hit. But Abu Dhabi 2021 wasn't the first time that the FIA made a decision that changed F1 history. For example, in 1994, the Schumacher and Hill collision, or 2008, Hamilton and Glock. But this one, it felt different. A procedural failure on the biggest stage. And the consequences of these actions still echo today. But Abu Dhabi was only the start. Earlier that same year, the FIA awarded points without a race even being run. Let's talk about Spa 2021 because this is bizarre. This is the day when Formula One held a Grand Prix without actually racing. It rained non-stop at Spa. The conditions were undrivable. Hours passed, but instead of canceling the race, the FIA decided to send the cars out on track, 2 laps behind the safety car. Basically, just enough to classify as a race under the rule book and award half points. The fans who sat in the rain for hours waiting for a race didn't get to see any action. No racing, no overtakes, no competition, but the broadcasters got their race and the sponsors got the exposure. But the drivers weren't quiet either. Hamilton called it out plainly, and I quote, "It's all about the money." And you know what? At that time, it felt like he was right. Historically, F1 has canceled races before. Think Malaysia 2009 when half points were awarded due to the weather, but at least some racing happened there. Spa 2021 was a different story. It was nothing but just driving behind the safety car. This was the first time that Formula One fans saw a race result without an actual race. And the FIA, they didn't offer refunds. They stuck to the rules that prioritized contracts and money over competition. I'm actually very curious about what you think. Do you think that Spa in 2021 should have counted as a race, or should the FIA have called it off? Let me know in the comments. But the FIA's inconsistencies don't stop with big events. Even track limits, the most basic rule in racing, turn into chaos. Track limits, 2 words that should be pretty simple to explain. In the most condensed form, stay inside the white lines. But the FIA decided to turn it into one of the most frustrating debates in all of Formula One. Think Austria 2023. There were over 1,200 track limit violations in a single weekend. Lap times deleted in qualifying, and race results change after the checkered flag. Drivers frustrated, teams confused, and fans wondering, why is this still a problem? With all the technology at their disposal, GPS tracking, cameras, sensors, you would think that enforcing track limits would be easy. But it's honestly the inconsistency that kills it. You see, one race, the drivers are penalized aggressively. The next one, they get away with running wide for laps. The results aren't changing, the enforcement is. The FIA even trialed physical deterrents, like sausage curbs, but those ended up causing even more crashes than they prevented. Track limits have turned into a penalty lottery, and instead of fixing it, the FIA's response has been to tweak procedures race by race. Now, if you have ever been frustrated watching races be decided by track limits just like me, don't forget to hit that like button right below because it helps more F1 fans like you and I see this video. Next up, the FIA introduced VAR style reviews to help with clarity. And did it work? Well, not exactly. After Abu Dhabi 2021, the FIA knew they had a credibility problem. Their solution, introducing a remote operations center, their version of what other sports call VAR. Their goal wasn't bad. It was to bring more consistency, more eyes to the incidents. They said more technology, probably better decisions. But instead, the process became slower and sometimes even less transparent. Imagine the podium ceremony is over and you still don't know who won the race. Well, you probably don't even have to imagine because we just saw this happen with second place a few weeks ago with George Russell. It feels like post-race penalties have become the norm. Fans like us are left in limbo. Teams can't plan strategies well because decisions take too long. And while the system was built to fix Abu Dhabi style mistakes, it's now just adding more frustration. Let's be clear, technology isn't the problem. The problem is how the FIA uses it. Instead of clear, timely decisions, we get reviews that last for laps or even hours after the race. In a sport built on speed, why is the decision-making process so slow? What do you think? Do you think VAR-style technology has actually helped Formula One or made it worse? Let me know down below. Let's talk penalties, the most contentious part of any sport. And in Formula One, it became a guessing game. Penalties, like them or not, are essential to fair racing. But in Formula One, consistency is the problem. Let's talk about weaving on the straights. One weekend it's a warning and the next one is a 5-second penalty. Or something like impeding in qualifying. Sometimes it's a grid drop, but a lot of times it's just a slap on the wrist. Let's talk about the safety car infringement in Baku. Verstappen went too slow, no penalty. Later on in the season, another driver does the same thing, 5-second penalty. Let me be clear, this video is not meant to be a hit on Max Verstappen. I like Max a lot. These are problems that the FIA is causing. It is quite clear in this situation that the rule book is the same, but the interpretation quite different. This is how you erode trust. If the rules aren't applied the same way every time, fans begin wondering whether the system is fair. Teams feel it too. Strategy changes if they don't know how penalties will be enforced. And drivers, they're left second guessing if their next move will be punished or ignored. Over the years, there have been infamous penalty debates. Think about Sebastian Vettel's penalty in Canada in 2019. 5 seconds for rejoining the track unsafely, it cost them the win. I see fans arguing about that till this day. Or Silverstone 2021. Hamilton and Verstappen collide. In this case, Hamilton gets only 10 seconds, which makes them still win the race. And the question is, was it enough? Do you have another favorite penalty controversy? Let me know down below. But penalties are just one piece of the puzzle. The FIA's issues go much deeper into financial rules like the budget cap. The budget cap, introduced to Formula One to make things more fair and competitive, to stop certain teams from outspending everyone else and getting the best machine and best drivers out of just having the most money. But enforcing it, that's been a different story. In 2022, it was Red Bull that breached that cap. The penalty, a $7 million fine and a 10% reduction in wind tunnel time. It may sound like a lot, but the truth is that when you're a championship winning team, that's barely a scratch to you. The result? Red Bull still dominated in 2023 and 2024. The punishment didn't slow them down at all. But smaller teams like Williams or Haas play by the rules because they honestly have no choice. But when the top teams get away with doing such things, it honestly kills the spirit of competition. And personally, as a fan of one of the biggest teams in Formula One, I think it kills the competition when you let these big teams get away with it. But this isn't new. I've talked about this in my channel before. Let's go back to 2007. I'm talking about Spygate. When McLaren got hit with a $100 million fine for stealing Ferrari data. Now that was a penalty with teeth. Compare that $100 million fine to today's fine, like a $7 million fine on Red Bull, and you start to see why fans are not happy about what the FIA has been doing recently. At the end of the day, my honest question I have to ask is, if we have a budget cap, why not enforce it? And if we don't enforce it correctly or strongly enough, why have it? The FIA's role is to maintain fairness in the sport, not just on the track, which they're iffy about, but also off the track. So with decades of controversies, from racing decisions to financial loopholes, can the FIA ever rebuild its trust? The FIA's role in Formula One is vital. They are supposed to set the rules and enforce fairness. Their job is no other than to protect the sport's integrity. But as we've seen from Abu Dhabi to Spa, or track limits to budget breaches, those decisions shape more than just races. They shape how us fans see the sport. And let's be honest, in 2025, the same issues remain. Inconsistencies, delays, questionable penalties, and until the FIA delivers transparency and consistency, these controversies will continue. So the question is, can the FIA actually improve, or are we stuck seeing the same mistakes year after year? Let me know what you think down below. I'll be reading every single comment as always, and also what you think that the FIA's role is in Formula One today. If you like this video, you can click right here to subscribe. I upload 2 of these videos every single week. You can also click right here to watch another video I created just for you. Thank you so much once again for watching Chicane Chat, and I'll see you in the next video.